Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets Crypto, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 19th of May. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to shoot trading signals. Right, before we start today, I've got something to show you, and I'm going to be posting it as the chart of the day on the main Substack in a couple of days. And I've got to say, the resolution isn't great, and I haven't found a better one yet, but I will be looking. But this is very interesting. And why is it interesting? Because, hang on, wait a second. This is a look between the correlations between Bitcoin and oil and PMI. So basically, we're mainly interested, obviously, in the Bitcoin and oil looks here. Now, in terms of, this is starting in, I think, 2017. Honestly, the resolution's poor and it's kind of hard to tell. But this is a previous substantial oil moves up with Bitcoin, and it's very interesting to see it's positively correlated, quite strongly positively correlated. This actually makes a difference. I'm expecting oil prices to go up, well, a lot. And what's going to happen to Bitcoin? While that happens, I'd assumed it would be punished along with basically other speculative instruments, because there's, despite my looking out for it very carefully for a long time, we've so far seen no indication that Bitcoin is becoming more attractive as a flight to safety destination. This could change. The last moves up on oil have all had significant moves up on Bitcoin. I'm wondering if we might actually find some support and start going up when oil prices start really rising, because I'm thinking there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see oil prices at well over $200 at new all-time highs. What's going to happen while that Bitcoin while that happens? Well, we might see it go up. Anyway, I'm going to be looking for a better resolution version of this, but you can get the message from there. And equally, I can, of course, create another chart. All right, great. Let's have a look at, wait a second. Okay, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is coming back in to test the weekly middle band. No current divergence on the weekly chart, no divergence on the daily chart too, but we're now reaching a stage where we could start setting up some positive divergence, though I'm not really expecting to see any. We're below the daily middle band, and we're coming back into significant support level at the 50-day MA, and we're also coming in for a significant support level at the the bear flag channel support, although we are further away from that. I've got that down slightly below 70,000, and we're still only about halfway there. This is a closer view on it. Can I see a pattern target below? No, but I am wondering about this level here at 75,000, which is a pretty good match with the 50 DMA. And I'm wondering if we might see a bounce there or slightly below in the 74K area to form the right shoulder for head and shoulders to take us down lower. So I am wondering about a bounce soon. In terms of Solana, obviously we've failed at the weekly middle band as we have on Ethereum. We're heading a little lower. Not a great deal happened yesterday. No current divergence on the daily chart. No current divergence on the hourly chart. On the 15-minute chart, you can see we're breaking slightly below the wedge support, and I'm no longer looking for this higher trend line here because we've already hit the lower one. So this is the trend line. It's not quite as nice as the one I'd drawn in, but sometimes you don't hit the nicer trend line. So this is the wedge, and this is the second bear flag, of course, because sometimes when you break down from a bear flag, it then turns into a larger one. That's what it's done here, and we're starting to break down from that. In due course, I'm expecting to see this deliver a retest of 67, 65, the early February low, and of course on Bitcoin, I'm expecting it to retest 60.1K. Which is, of course, the early February low as well. All right, looking at Ethereum. Ethereum, of course, has failed at the weekly middle band as well. That is a very significant level. It's a good level to fail. And on Bitcoin, we're going to need to break down through it, which, of course, we haven't done yet. On the daily chart, we are continuing to hug the 3SD lower band, but of course the bands are now finally expanding here, having got very narrow. On the hourly chart, no current divergence, and we're getting pretty close to the Bear Flag Channel Sport, which I've got in about the 2000 area, or basically about 2050 or 2100, I think. We will see how that goes. But in due course, I'm expecting this to deliver, again, breakdown, deliver a retest this low here at 1746.93. But I'm going to do more research on it. I'm going to have a look, and I'm going to basically recreate that chart with oil, with oil, Bitcoin, and I'm pretty sure I can also put in inflation there. And I'm going to have a look at that over a 10-year period and see. But if we start seeing this act as a flight to safety or to benefit when oil goes up, we might actually see a significant rise in Bitcoin here and in the others. So I'm going to be looking at that with great interest, and I'll probably crunch those charts today or tomorrow. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Not a profit, but it's like that's it. The great thing about technical analysis is it does allow you to look into the future in a sense, just through a very, very fuzzy glass. That's why I've got that slogan on there, which is "through a glass darkly." That's the way you're going to look into the future. About the bases, yeah, I mean that is. If you look at it from the Gulf states' point of view, they've obviously, paid loads of bribes and, put in lots of money and built Trump hotels. What are they getting in exchange for that? Nothing. And actually, the US obviously cannot defend them because they haven't managed to defend them so far. Furthermore, they seem to be dragged into Israel's wars as well. So we shall see. Yeah, the moves, I'm going to have a look at that because that could be really significant here because I'd love to see, well, obviously, in terms of just the pure bear market, it's not generally going to be over for another 6 months. But maybe it could be different this time. I'll crunch the charts and have a look. But if Bitcoin's got a good correlation with oil, and depending on the reason that correlation is there, then yeah, potentially we could see that reverse, because I'm thinking that gold's probably going to turn into a flight to safety. We could see the same with crypto, so we shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Cheers.